Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel and welcome to this 30-minute Aquarius full moon yoga practice. As we all know, it is a full moon in Aquarius during Leo season, and I wanted to tribute this yoga practice to this very big event happening in the sky. So if you're ready, roll out your mats, hop into something super comfortable, and we will begin our practice on the floor, coming into a praying child's pose. So, in tribute of the full moon in Aquarius, we will be working on stretching and building muscle in our calves and our ankles. Aquarius rules the shins, the ankles, our calves. So, as a tribute and in honor of the full moon in Aquarius, we will be targeting those areas. Today's practice will be a little bit stronger than my previous ones, so just get ready for that. But in the meantime, just take deep breaths in your child's pose. And as you breathe out, come back up. Come to the center of your mat. If you are at the back of your mat, just come to the center of your mat. And we're going to breathe in, hands coming up to the sky. And as you breathe out, place your left hand on the side of your mat as you stretch the right side of your body. Your right hand comes up into the sky, waving hello, waving goodbye. Taking deep breaths as we come into this side body stretch. And as you exhale, place your hands up again into the sky. And we'll take this to the other side. Your right hand comes to the floor. And we stretch your left side of your body, bringing your left hand up into the sky, waving it hello and waving it goodbye. And once we're done, we're going to come back to center, breathing both our hands up into the sky and breathing out, forming a cactus with our arms. Breathing in, hands come up, and as you breathe out, cactus your arms. Chest comes up into the sky, and breathe in once again, hands coming up and breathing out as we cactus our hands. Chest comes up. We'll do this one more time. Hands coming up, and this time we're going to come into a seated position at the back of your mat, breathing into a puppy pose. So it's similar to a praying child, only difference is that our booties are facing up into the sky, giving ourselves a deeper spinal stretch here. And on your next exhale out, come into a tabletop, and we're going to do some cat and cow poses. Breathing in as you arch your back and exhaling as you retract. as always, I like to do these incredible spine circles, these cat and cow spinal circles. It's the same process as breathing in as you arch your back. Only difference is now we're going to be creating some spinal circles. Remembering to breathe in deeply within each circle that you create. And on your next exhale, we're going to come into a downward facing dog. Lengthening our legs, arms firmly pressing on our mats, ankles touching our mats as well, breathing in deeply. And in our downward dog, we're going to pedal our legs, bending one leg and straightening the other. Doing this for 3 breaths. And then on your next exhale, you're going to walk your hands to the back of your mat to meet your legs. And in this position, we will be doing our calf stretches. So lifting your ankles off of the floor and then bringing them back down. Once again, lifting them off of the floor and bringing them back down. And remembering to breathe. So lift them off of the floor and bring them back down. You should be feeling the burn at the very back of your calves, of your shins. We'll do this 10 more times, bringing them up and down. Remember to breathe as you do this, lifting them up and placing them down again, and lifting them up and placing them down, lifting up and placing them down. Remembering to use your hands as a balance as you do this practice, lifting your ankles up and bringing them down. And this time you are going to come into a seated position, bending your knees and breathing your hands up into the sky. We're going to be staying here for 3 breaths, 3 deep breaths. Just really working our thighs here. And then as you breathe in, come into a reversed seated pose as your right hand comes to the back of you and coming to this twisted position, this twisted seated pose. Remember to breathe in. I know it burns, but just stay with it. Stay present. And then breathe up, hands come up to the sky. And you can straighten your legs as we take a full breath here. Preparing to come back again into a seated position and taking this twisted seated position into the left side. Remembering to breathe in deeply and be present with the shakiness, be present with the pain. And on your next exhale, come breathe up, straighten your leg and hands come up into the sky as you breathe in deeply. And breathe out, fold forward. Hands come onto your mat. And then walking both your feet to the very edges of your yoga mat, bending your knees all the way down into a Yogi Squat. Using your elbows to push both your knees to the very edges as you breathe in deeply into the squat. And in this squat, I want you to place your left hand at the very side of your mat as your right hand reaches for the sky, coming into a twisted yogi squat. Remembering to breathe in deeply here. And then as you exhale, place both of your hands back to center, pushing both your knees at the very edges. And we'll take it to the other side. Your right hand comes to the side of your yoga mat this time, and your left hand reaches for the sky as you come into a twisted yogi squat. And on your next exhale, we're going to bring our hands back together to center. Breathing in, and as we breathe out, placing both your hands on your yoga mat as you walk your feet back together. Now in this folded position, we're going to take another twister. Place your left hand on the floor as your right hand comes up and reaches for the sky as you bend your left knee. Place your right hand down, and we're going to take this to the other side. Right hand comes to the floor as your left hand reaches for the sky, and your right knee bends, taking a left side body stretch. And as you breathe out, place your hands on your yoga mat as you bend down, and we're going to prepare for a side crow. If you're not ready to do a crow yet, you can just stay in a yogi squat. Otherwise, we're going to be taking our side body crow. Remembering to find balance in your arms. And if you are ready, you can maybe lift one leg as I've done here. Or if not, you can just simply bend both of your legs. And remember to breathe in your crow. And then breathe out, coming back to center. And we're going to take this to the other side. Breathing in deeply as you find your balance in your side crow on this side. And remembering that if you are not yet able to do this, just stay in a yogi squat and take your deep breaths in that position. And once we are all done, we're going to breathe into a resting child's pose. And on your next exhale, you're going to breathe into an upward facing dog, knees coming off of your mat, bending your back, and then breathe out into a downward facing dog. And as you breathe in, lift your right leg off of the ground, coming into a three-legged downward dog. Bend your right knee, and then place it at the front of your yoga mat, coming into a warrior one position with your hands up in the sky. And as you breathe out, come into a warrior two position. Strong thighs, strong knees as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, straighten your right leg and coming into a fallen triangle pose. Remembering to breathe in as your left hand comes up in the sky, and as you breathe out, place both your hands on your yoga mat. And then come into a twisted position. Right hand comes up in the sky as you find balance with your left arm. And then come into a side body plank, balancing on your left arm as well as your left leg. And on your next exhale, both hands come up to the floor again and come into a downward facing dog as we rest. This time, lifting our left leg off of the mat, breathing in deeply as we bend our left leg, and then placing our left leg at the front of our mat, coming into a warrior one position with our hands up in the sky, breathing in deeply, and as you breathe out, come into a warrior two position. And then breathe out as you straighten your left leg, breathing into a fallen triangle as your left arm reaches for your left ankle. Right arm comes up into the sky as you breathe in deeply here. And then bend your left knee, placing both your hands on the mat, and lift your left hand off of the floor, balancing your body with your right arm and your right hand as we come into this twisted position, breathing in deeply, preparing to lift our left leg off of the mat, coming into a side body plank. Left hand reaches for the sky, balancing our body with our right leg and our right arm. And then on your next exhale, bring both your hands back onto the mat as we prepare for a downward facing dog. And as you breathe out, come into a plank position, breathing in up into an upward dog, and then breathing out once again into a plank position. Once again, breathing up into an upward dog. This time, lifting your right leg off of the floor, bending your right leg, and breathing it down, all the way down into an upward facing dog. We're coming into a three-legged upward facing dog. And then as you breathe out, round your spine as you bring your right knee to meet your nose. Breathe in here and then breathe out, lifting your right leg up into a three-legged downward dog. Bend your right leg once again, coming into an upward facing three-legged dog, and breathe out, rounding your spine. Knee meets your nose. And breathe out. Leg comes up again in the sky. Very strong position. Hang in there. Bend your right leg. Coming into an upward facing dog. And breathing out. Rounding your spine. Knee comes to the nose. Place your right leg at the back of your mat. Come into a plank. And then breathe into a cobra position. Arching your back. And then breathing out as your chest meets your mat. And then breathing in again into a cobra, arching your back. And then breathing out, chest comes to the floor. This time you're going to place your arms at the very sides of your mat. And we're going to be taking another set of a cobra. So bending one elbow, bend your left elbow as you take your cobra. Breathing in, chest coming off of the mat, and breathing out, chest coming to meet your mat. Breathing in, and this time bend your left arm as you take your left side cobra. Breathing in and breathing out as your chest meets the mat. We'll do this one more time. Breathing in and breathe out, chest meets your mat. Once again, breathing in, lifting your chest off of the mat, and this time we're going to breathe out into a downward facing dog. And as you breathe out, we're going to walk our hands to the back of our mat, coming into our calf exercises once again, lifting your calves and placing them back down again, lifting them and placing them back down again. We're going to be doing this for a few breaths. And as we take our last few calf exercises, we're going to walk our hands at the front of our mat, coming into a downward facing dog. And this time, lifting our left leg off of the sky, bending your left leg, and then coming into an upward facing dog, a three-legged upward facing dog. And as you breathe out, your left knee reaches for your nose. And then breathe out, left leg reaches for the sky. And we'll do this 2 more times. So bend your left knee, come into an upward facing dog. And as you breathe out, round your spine, knee comes to the nose. And one more time, breathing up, coming into a three-legged downward dog, bending our left knee, and coming into an upward facing dog. And as you breathe out, round your spine, knee comes to the nose. And as you breathe out, your left leg meets at the back, come into a plank, and then breathe into your cobra. Chest coming onto the floor as you breathe out, and breathe in, arching your back, coming into your cobra. We'll do this 1 more time. Breathing out as your chest comes to your mat, and breathe in, lifting your chest. And 1 more time, breathing out. Now we're going to come into a shoulder stretch. So placing your right leg at the side of your mat, bringing your left leg at the back of your mat along with your right arm, and then placing your left arm at the other side of your mat. Coming into this beautiful shoulder stretch. We'll be taking a few moments here, so get comfy. And we'll be taking this to the other side. This side, your left arm comes to the side of your mat, and placing your right leg also at the side of your mat. And then your left arm will come to the other side and take your shoulder stretch. And then once we're done, we're going to come back to center, hands coming into your shoulders as we breathe into a cobra pose. And as we breathe out, come into a tabletop, and then breathe into a child's pose. And on your next exhale, we're going to move onto our backs into our cool down. Coming on your backs as you bend your knees to come closer to your chest. And as you breathe in, lift your legs up. And we're going to be taking some ankle circles here. Once we're done with our ankle circles, you're going to bend your right leg, placing your right ankle on your left knee, and then bend your left knee. Hug your left knee to your chest as you rock side to side. You'll feel this stretch in between your left thigh. It feels so good. And remember to breathe in deeply here as we cool down into our yoga practice. And And then we're going to place both our arms at the very sides of our mat, and then leaning our legs to the left, coming into a supine twist. Then breathing out, uncrossing your legs. Legs come up to the sky, once again taking some ankle circles. And as you breathe out, you're going to bend your left leg this time, crossing your left ankle over your right knee. And then bending your right knee and hugging your knees to your chest as you rock side to side. And once we're done, we're going to place our hands at the sides of our mat. And this time, leaning our legs to the right side, coming into a right side supine twist. And once we're done, we're going to uncross all our legs, find a seated position. And guys, we're going to end off our practice here, taking some deep breaths in and out. It is a full moon and Aquarius rules associate, so I hope we all release all things that we associate with that no longer serve us. Once again, guys, thank you so much for joining me in today's practice. And happy releasing, happy full moon. And remember to stay safe. Until next time, bye.